This is obviously the penultimate round of the season. We've got 5 races left now in this GT4 championship. I'm not going to go into how relieved I am that's the case. But nonetheless, Iain, we had a fascinating first race in that one. We saw Champ taking an impressive win racing as a reserve here tonight. It's not easy to jump into a league where you've got a lot of drivers who have been racing week in, week out throughout an entire season, and to be competitive is truly credit to him.
Yeah, it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do, but you know, when he's had the chance to be able to check out what the competition can do, obviously with different races and other things, it's, you know, it gives you the chance to have that little bit more, you know, a competitive edge over those that you're going to be racing against, because you know how they drive, what they do when they're under pressure and things.
Indeed. Let's just imagine, right, for a second, because obviously if Champ won the first race, then God knows what he's going to be able to do in the second one with a bit more experience and practice. Obviously, this is a qualifying session, this one, so your pace over one lap does dictate the grid, unlike the first and third races, which are reverse grids. The first one based on the championship standings, and the second one is based on the results from this race, actually. But yeah, it's going to... I mean, he sent out quite a statement there with not just taking the win in, but also the fastest lap as well. And you know, that's going to take some beating, surely.
Yeah, because when you come out of a race, you know that you've got 2 more to go. You should have been able to pass this lap. You know, it does shape that place where you know for a fact that you have that edge over the rest of them. You just have to go out there and replicate that same race.
Indeed. I think my computer's being remote accessed because every time I click on something, it's trying to highlight what I'm doing. So do bear with, guys. I'm just having to compete with somebody who's trying to remote access my PC. So apologies for this. I'm just trying to change the titles, but every time I click something, it's highlighting it and dragging the screen. But it's fine. You just have to be patient with this kind of thing. But yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting. LFRD obviously had some pace in that first race as well, and we know that he's a bit of a he's being mentored by Champ a little bit. Champ gives him setups and gives him a few tips on how to go quickly, so that's going to be advantageous for him if he can use those lessons to his advantage. I just can't actually see the qualifying leaderboard at the moment. I know Iain can. I myself have absolutely not the foggiest what's going on with the qualifying session at the moment. Iain, what's the order at the moment? Who's quickest? Iain? Iain?
Sorry, my mic was muted. My mic was muted because the cam was brushing up against my face.
Oh no.
LFDR set the fastest lap at the minute. There's only 5 of them that set a lap. They're coming in thick now. LFDR has so far got pole position. 7/10 ahead of Mike, and no, sorry, that's 1/10 ahead of Mike and 7/10 ahead of Cam.
Wow, that's pretty impressive there from LFRD. You know, early part of the season, jumped in as a well, he was meant to be a regular at the time, but then obviously had to withdraw from the championship due to school and yeah, commitments. So, but obviously now the school terms ended in his part of the world, ends a bit earlier, I think, where he lives than what it does in the UK. But obviously he's jumping in for the last 3 rounds of the season. He was here last week for the one at Catalonia, and yeah, he's doing it. He's making a really good account of himself so far. Very impressive to see. But nonetheless, the stream is now officially public, so that means that anybody can now watch. Obviously, if you guys want, you can rewind the last 5 minutes because we have been talking and it is all on record. But there we go. Just now going to plug in my HDMI cable, and then we are officially going to be.
You'd be surprised at totally always car choice.
Chevrolet.
No. Let's just say there's a new GT3 variant.
Oh, Mustang.
Correct.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was thinking of when I said Chevrolet. I don't know why I said Chevy when I meant a Ford, but yeah, yeah, totally zero. I've seen him drive the Mustang before, so that's why it was on my mind.
Yeah.
It's not the first time.
Go back a good few weeks ago, I'm sure.
This is not his first rodeo. Yeah, I remember he did, but the Mustang is going to struggle around a track like this. I reckon the only sort of track where the Mustang would be strong in this category, I think, would be Monza or Daytona road course, maybe. Maybe Spa.
But the funny thing
Not even
about
Spa,
the
to be honest.
GT4 version in this game, the funny thing about the GT Mustang in this game at least, is that it has a spoiler that probably are on a GT3. It actually has a bigger spoiler than the real world GT3 version.
Which doesn't make a whole load of sense. I suppose it's making up for the deficiencies in terms of like the bodywork and the underfloor and everything compared to the GT3 version.
Wow.
It's, there's probably a lot more to compensate for in the GT4 version, I suppose. But nonetheless, guys, we're just getting ready to go here for the second race of the night. It's the only standing start of the night, and it's the only race where the qualifying session actually influences the grid order. And LFRD, they're taking a surprise pole, I'm going to say, but a well-deserved one. It's a bit of a weird grid here at Le Mans, isn't it? Because they line up, and first place is literally like a car's hair ahead of second place, and on the outside. To me, actually, it's on the inside. Actually, no, it is on the inside. You've got that flat-out curve which goes to the right, but the first real braking zone's to the left. So I guess LFRD technically does have that advantage, but it's literally such fine margins. It's literally like a tiny little. It's nothing, is it? The gap between the cars on the grid, it's nothing. Obviously, it's a Le Mans style grid. It's the same grid that they use in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where they all race from their garages out onto the track and into their cars. Do they still do that?
No.
They don't do that anymore. Oh, okay. No, you did. They used to. That used to be a thing.
Oh yeah.
They don't do that anymore, though. No. I mean, it would be quite dangerous if you think about it, because you'd have people who say they're starting at the back, then they might run over the people at the front who are still running to their cars. I mean, that would be a health and safety issue thinking about it. But anyway, lights coming on the head of the group. We are. Yeah, that'd be why he got scrapped. But nonetheless, here we are racing here at Le Mans, and LFRD getting a solid start, but Mike seems to have got a slightly better one here. The BMW straight line speed currently outpacing him coming down towards turn one. Here we go. Is it going to be Mike into the lead? It is Mike into the lead as he manages to get ahead there. So beautifully done there from the championship leader. He got Champ there running in third place ahead of John Boy, followed by Potter Brown, who's side by side with Cobb at the moment. Cobb trying to go around the outside of Potter Brown, and he manages to keep the momentum there around the outside as Cobb whilst running off for the road. That was a bit of a naughty move there from Cobb, and he's managed to get around the outside of him for the next corner, but Potter Brown still on the inside. But Cobb's though trying to hang it all the way around the outside. Potter Brown though gets a decent enough exit and holds on to fifth place for the time being. But it's Mike from LFRD with Champ there in third place attacking on the back of his teammate in a moment. You've got John Boy in P4. There's Potter Brown running a bit wide. Cobb might be able to get underneath him here potentially. He's got a good exit there as Cobb, and he manages to slipstream there, or rather not slipstream, slingshot rather, up into P5. And now Park Pooper looking to the outside of Potter Brown here as well. Is he going to be able to make this move? No, Potter Brown looking down the inside of Cobb. Very aggressive late move there from Potter Brown. He gets that one done and moves himself back up into P5 as him and Cobb are continuing to have a tussle on this first lap. Cobb, though, has the inside for this next corner coming into the chicane. As you see there, him just edging past Potter Brown, and he's going to have that move done back up into fifth place once again here. What a battle that was between them on the first lap. So clean, apart from maybe the late dive from Potter Brown. But I think that was just about on the edge, especially on the first lap here, and I'd say that was Rubbings Racing. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree. It's the first lap. It's a tight course. You can't expect much else. They're going to be fighting for everything to go in that back. It's just racing.
Oh, it's Totally Zero loses it. They go to the final corner as Doris Steele was attacking on the back of him for ninth place. As Totally Zero there dropping down to P10 there. And unfortunate moment there for him. He managed to get himself ahead.
A Mustang spinning out on the exit of a corner. Where else have I seen that?
In every GT4 race ever, I think is the answer. Champ moving through into second place.
Every single, and on the exit of every fucking, what's the word? The car park exit ever.
Oh god.
Not in the real world.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Potter Brown there, moving back ahead of Cop into P5. Those two continuing to swap places here. Potter Pooper there ahead of Aussie. Aussie looking to the inside there, but too far back. Doris there running in 9th place is ahead of Totally Zero after that spin for Totally Zero. And these two currently occupying those final 2 spots at the moment then. But Champ trying to throw the pressure here on the back of Mike. Mike, though, trying to creep away if he possibly can. Champ getting ahead of his teammate up into 2nd place. And obviously took the win in the first race here tonight, did Champ. So he'd love to make it another win here in this 2nd race. Really doing a good job here tonight as actually quite a late stand-in, to be fair. Although I have a feeling that he knew he would need reserves, and I have a feeling that he was practicing beforehand. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. What do you reckon? I reckon Champ's been practicing quite a bit, Ian. I would say. I don't think he's coming to this blind.
Well, no, that's because that's what I used to do. I didn't do any practice at all, and I just showed up for the race. Yeah,
but mate, if you, no offence, but if you were to jump into this championship, all the touring cars, with no practice, I think you would be burned. Like, because genuinely, I think you underestimate the talent of this field. I think.
It's not just that. I'm not used to project cars anymore. I'm more used to Assetto Corsa.
And obviously, Champ now races iRacing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is. I think he has been practicing. Personally, I think that's my judgment, but I reckon he's been putting in a few hours this afternoon, as it is the afternoon his time. But we got John Boy all over the back of LFRD, but still can't make that move up into the podium places. But he's not too far behind his championship rival. As Champ there didn't get a great run coming through that section. Is now a little bit further away from Mike than what he was, but John Boy here looking to try and make this move on LFRD as soon as he can. Looking to the outside here. Can he get around the outside? John Boy can't make it happen there. LFRD hold that inside line, and John Boy once again struggling with that understeer that we saw in the first race, and getting that sort of that mid-corner sort of hangout. Doesn't seem like he's able to get the car turned in very easily at all, and it's affecting him in wheel-to-wheel combat here from what I'm watching so far. Has a little feint to the inside into the chicane, but he's nowhere near close enough to make that move at the moment, and it's still Mike from Champ, from LFRD, John Boy, the top 4 separated by 2 seconds here on the 3rd lap of this 2nd race of the night. You've got Potter Brown, who's got Cobb still all over the back of him here, as Cobb looking to the outside. Is he going to be able to make this move here? Cobb's going to try and go around the outside here of Potter Brown. Is this job done? No, it's not. Potter Brown still there, the bane of Cobb's life at the moment in this one, and somehow staying on to P5 just about.
Just when I was talking about Assetto Corsa there, have you seen
Cobb spins it. Cobb bins it there, coming into the final into the final corner, and that now gives Potter Brown P5. Potter Pooper moves up as well as Aussie Albie. Totally Zero now running in 8th place, so Doris Steer must have dropped it as well. So Cobb and Doris running in 9th and 10th places. Totally Zero currently picking him off and making places with everybody else dropping it in front of him up into 8th place here. Not bad at all from him, but still watching about out the front as we can see. John Boy attacking on LFRD. Sorry, mate, yeah. John Boy getting a cut back there on LFRD, and he's made the move up into 3rd place onto the podium. So John Boy there getting that job done on LFRD, but LFRD's going to throw one back down the inside into the next corner, and John Boy leaves him the space. A very courteous John Boy there. I've got to say, I was expecting him to maybe make that a bit more difficult and close the door, but he let him through almost there. Sorry, mate, go on.
I was just asking, have you seen the recent announcement by from Commentators Assetto Corsa there?
Assetto Corsa too?
No, Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Oh, what is it about it?
GT2s are confirmed, and the first one that's been shown off is a Porsche.
What?
Yeah, and there's going to be another version of the Porsche with an extreme body kit.
Wow. ACC is just going from one level to the next. I mean, this is the game that was originally meant to be just be GT3. Oh, it's Champ there going around the outside of Mike. Mike getting a poor run there through the 3rd to last corner, and Champ there seizes on that. He leads the race here once again. Champ, the race winner in the first race, and he's giving Mike a fight, and he's now seized the lead off of our championship leader. This is a fantastic turn up here for Champ, as Mike now has got the slipstream here down the start-finish straight and is going to breeze past him with that BMW straight line speed. The Porsche's got absolutely no defence whatsoever, and Champ there, oh no, in fact Champ back down the inside into turn one, late on the brakes, and Mike can't get the cut back there, so it shows that Mike's got the straight line speed in the BMW, but that Porsche on the brakes, it's not even a contest. So Champ giving him a real fight here.
It just goes to show their confidence.
Yeah, certainly does, and that's probably why John Boy's having such a hard time getting ahead of LFRD, because he can't outbrake him. Even in that Ginetta, the Porsche is very good on the brakes, and the Ginetta's obviously got great traction. Oh, as LFRD runs wide, and that's going to be John Boy through, surely this time around. Although he's on the outside, and LFRD again, we know what he's like on the brakes. Back down the inside he goes. John Boy not in a position to get a cut back once again due to that understeery setup that he's got on the Ginetta, as LFRD gets it wrong in front of him, and both of them had to get out of it a little bit there, and that's cost them both time to Champ and Mike. So LFRD and John Boy still continuing to trip over each other here, whilst Mike looks to try and come back at Champ for the lead of the race as they're going through the chicane. But a great battle out the front, and an exciting battle for the podium places as well here.
Yeah, it just, you know, like I was saying towards the beginning of the second race, that Champ's had a chance to be able to, you know, look back on previous streams to see how other people defend, how they attack, how, just how in general how they drive. And I'm a feeling that Mike has probably taken the chance to, take a few pointers from Champ tonight, and it's allowed him to try and, creep onto the back of him. But don't get me wrong, it's still quite close, but it's just whether or not Mike can just try that cut going around the corners without spinning.
Indeed, yeah, he's going to be having to nurse it through his part of the track, but if he can preserve it and preserve that gap to what it is sort of like now-ish, then he might have a chance down one of these straights. But Freddie in the comments there says, "Bonjour Andy, I'm back. How are we doing?" Very well, thank you, Freddie. Hopefully yourself as well. Freddie, one of our biggest fans here on the channel, has been actually checking out our streams quite a lot recently. Also one of our F1 racers as well, and is set to be racing next season. Can't remember what team he's racing for next season in the F1, but I know he's always there every single week, and I'm looking forward to seeing him out on track. Also got Miguel Grandon in the chat. Miguelito, well, it's been a long time. How are we doing, Miguelito? One of your old rivals in the GT3 scene. You remember him well, surely?
Yep, I'll remember everyone. No, we're all assholes on track.
Yeah, obviously, Miguelito was one of the contenders in back in the day when Iain had his championship battle with Richie, which I remember very, very vividly. I actually got revenge for you, mate, as well. I actually had a championship battle with Richie a few seasons afterwards, long after you had sort of moved on from Motive, and obviously you come back recently, but long after that I did actually beat him to the championship. So in a way, I kind of avenged your defeat. Yeah, Miguelito was racing back then.
When I was looking for the championships, like the championship winners, like first, second, and third, the last time I saw my name get mentioned in that page was 3 years ago.
Mate, it's been that long, literally. I try and say, like, there was a period where I didn't speak to you for about a year. I mean, like. Yeah, literally, we must have gone about a year without talking at one point. But John Boy nonetheless up into third place, with LFRD making a mistake going through the chicane as they all get onto the grass a little bit there, living quite dangerously. But yeah, Miguelito actually won the champ. You know, the season after you and Richie had that championship battle. Miguelito and Richie had a championship battle the season after that, and then Miguelito went and won that championship. So Miguelito had already technically avenged your defeat the very next season. But saying that, I mean, you were all sort of contenders, you know what I mean? Richie, you, Miguelito, you were all top drivers in that league. And, back then, obviously, I was very committed to my commentary role, but, a few seasons later, maybe, I'd settled down on the broadcast, and I let Mike commentate, actually. The season that I had the championship battle with Richie, Mike was the man commentating. This man here, currently running in P2, actually a very proficient commentator, and has done a few streams on our channel, notably season 12 in the GT3s over here on Project Cars 2. And he's currently Oh, he's also, little known fact, also a 7-time champion here at Motive and Project Cars 2. 4-time champion of the Clio Cup, 3-time champion of the Touring Cars, and looking to try and make it potentially 8 championships here, and his first ever championship in the GT4s this season. And he's on course to do that at the moment, but he also wants to get a win here in this second race of the night, and Champ is currently the thorn in his side in that particular pursuit. As we got Miguel also saying, yeah, it's been a long time, I'm studying the US, but I hope in January I can come back to Chile and maybe come back to racing. That would be awesome, Miguelito. What sort of games?
The US are you? I want to get over.
What games are you looking to race on? Because we still do Project Cars, but we don't do GT3 anymore. We're doing touring cars next season on Thursday, and we're going to be racing Gran Turismo 7, GT3 on Tuesdays next season as well. Oh, is Mike there keeping it on the outside of John Boy? John Boy up the inside. John Boy up the inside of Mike. Mike had a bit of a mistake there going through the first sector, as they're still side by side. Yes, it's Group 3, not GT3. Sorry, Mike on the inside, yeah, because it's a mix of GT500. Oh, is John Boy there getting pushed out by LFRD? LFRD aggressive, and now he's going to try and make the move on Mike as well. John Boy's not going to be too chuffed with that, as he just got shoved out of the way there by one of our reserves, and LFRD's now letting John Boy back through. So good sportsmanship there. Obviously, good awareness of the fact that he was a little bit too aggressive there, and gives the position back. So fair play to him. Got to respect that. But yeah. We'll be doing Group 3 on Gran Turismo 7 and Touring Cars on Project Cars 2. As we see John Boy here down the inside of Mike, and he's going to make that move up into second place, is he? Yes, he does. Beautiful move there from John Boy, getting the move done on his championship rival. That's another couple of points there in John Boy's favour, but he'd love to see LFRD get in between him here on this final lap of the race. Champ about to start the final lap and looking on course to take 2 wins from 2 so far tonight. What a night it would be from him if he's able to do that. As we see them coming over the line here to start the final lap of the race. There's John Boy ahead of Mike and LFRD. But this is going to be going down to the wire here in this battle for the podium places. John Boy, Mike and LFRD, I think that these guys are now out of the battle for the win. I think Champ should have that one pretty much done here. Oh no, as LFRD runs into the back of Mike. He needs to let Mike have that one back, surely. I think he did run into the back of him. Did he? I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. That looked like he did, but maybe he didn't. I don't know. It looked to me like he did from the trackside view. Difficult to tell. Looked to me like I don't think Mike lost that by himself. He was sideways going into the corner, and then LFRD was very close to him. I think there was contact there.
If there was any contact, I'm going to say it was mid-spin. Yeah,
potentially. Miguel says maybe touring cars in Project Cars 2, as I still don't have Gran Turismo 7. He prefers the Project Cars 2 driving style, so do I, mate. I agree with you on that one. No. We've got Seb saying, Bay Sports P1, just like we belong, baby. Well, it's looking like that's going to be the case, at least on this occasion, and it was also the case in the first race of the night. I'll tell you what, John Boy's really gained on Champ at the end here, but he's going to get there a little bit too late as they're coming into the final sector here. And it's been a splendid performance here from Champ so far. He has not put a foot wrong here tonight. Racing is a very late stand, and I mentioned earlier on, I think it's very likely that he's been putting in some practice, but even, regardless of that, coming into a league where everyone else has had the whole season of running, and he's going to come up towards the line to make it 2 from 2 here at Le Mans on the Bugatti circuit. Champ takes the win ahead of John Boy in second, LFRD over to complete the podium. It's going to be Mike over in 4th place ahead of Potter Brown, who's a long way behind here, coming into the final 2 corners now. But Champ, if he can win this final race of the night, will have made it a treble here at Le Mans Bugatti. Here comes Potter Brown over to take P5 in the end. Totally Zero through the final 2 corners, just ahead of Part Pooper as here we come. So it's Totally Zero P6, Part Pooper over in 7th. Bit of a gap back towards the Albi, who's just going to hold off Cobb here for 8th place in the end. So that's those 2 over the line, and Doris Steers parked it on the final lap.
Ran out of fuel, that's why.
Oh, had he? Oh, right. Eagle eye there, Ian. He spotted the fuel gauge. I didn't. So yeah, that's Doris Steer. What a shame there for him. Obviously, was within a few hundred metres of finishing the race, but it wasn't to be. But Champ taking the win ahead of John Boy with LFRD completing the podium. And we'll be back shortly for the final race of the night, guys. Check that out on the Discord server. I'll be posting the link in about 5 minutes. Totally Zero says no practice for me. Just popped in. Hey, you're doing a good job, mate. Well done. Not too far off the pace, all things considered. John Boy taking the fastest lap, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and nab a win and nab some points off of Mike. But yeah, check it out. We'll be back very, very shortly.